Hey, how is everybody doing tonight? Nice Friday, huh? Hey, remember last stream I said it looked to me like it could be a blizzard on the East Coast, especially in the Boston area, but they weren't calling for it. Well, they are now. Anyway, hopefully everybody's doing well. Hello, Mark Harris, your number one. Mark Harris from Ohio, East Spears. Stanley, good to see you. Stanley's in the Midwest. Illinois, never mind. Hello, never mind. Good to see you. Beat with Thunder. Howdy. And who we have? Michael Joshua Lewis and Stanley again. 52 in Canada. Wow, yeah. This is going to be one of those things, one of those rare times when warmer air comes behind the system. That's very rare in the winter. But we are getting to that January thaw time of year. Happens every year. I guess it happens more since the climate is cooling, right? Well, warming. Sorry, warming. So let me give you a quick update on me. I actually went to the gym today. How's that? So I got my first medication, and it was doctor prescribed. So I'm just going to say what it is. I took it. I'm not recommending anybody else take it. Go ask your doctor what to take. I'm not recommending anything, but I took ivermectin, and it took a long time. It took almost 10 hours, but my symptoms were about 90% better in 10 hours. And that was Monday, and here's Friday, and I went to the gym. Maybe I shouldn't have, but because my energy still isn't back totally, but I felt pretty good today. So hello, Nikki, Rolos, D Benders, howdy, and Vintage 55. So has anyone seen the video I just uploaded about, I don't know, 20 minutes before this, 30 minutes before this? Hopefully you have. More on the shadow stuff. And when I was thinking it through, it came to me that as the sun rises and gets higher and higher in the sky, the shadow gets shorter and shorter and shorter. And their claim is that we can see, like on Everest, evidently we can see, 300 sunsets if you go up 100 feet each time or 250 on Everest. But as you're seeing the angle get below the earth, that's why they say you can, the angle's going up. And we're going to look at a terrible video by Wolfie. I don't know Wolfie. I'm hoping that he usually does better work than this, but thanks for sending it. Polster X sent it, and we're going to take a look at it. And it's from the top of the World Trade Center. And I guess the evidence wasn't right, so they knocked down the Trade Center to preserve the globe. Just kidding, right? Just kidding. Mom has been in hospital 3 days. Oh, sorry to hear that. Is it COVID? Thank you, Stanley. God bless you as well. Thank you so much. Well, we all need to pray for your mom, Michael Joshua Lewis. So let's all pray for his mom that she recovers from whatever she's got. Never a good thing. Never a good thing when a relative of yours is in the hospital. And do I have this video up? Just a moment. I do. See if I can find it now. Oh, I did a Starve the Beast today. How's that? I went to get a haircut, and there was a place right by me. And but it's a shopping center. It's kind of like weird in there. And you can't really see all the stores. And about 3 or 4 days ago, there was a guy sitting out by the road with this big flapping thing in the wind, barbershop, and he's pointing over. I was like, oh, I didn't know there was a barbershop there. I need a haircut, so I'll go there in the next few days when I feel better. And I felt better today. So I walk in, and it's a woman and a guy. The woman's cutting the hair. The guy is sitting in the chair. and they both have a mask on. And then I look across and it said, masks are still required. And you know how that is. Some places, they just left the sign up. And so I asked, I said, excuse me, but do you require a mask? Yeah, sorry, but you have to have a mask. I was like, sorry, bye. I left. And there was another one about a block away, and they didn't require a mask, so they got my service. See, there's no mask mandate here in Arizona. So there's no going against any kind of guidelines or whatever. Yeah, simple geometry at sunset, like in the globe. You know, as I was thinking it, among her diabetes and the 2 shots, yes, it's COVID. All I can tell you, oh boy. Sorry to hear that, Michael Joshua. 2 shots and she's in the hospital. That's the newest line. Polster actually told me that, and others have too. The reason why I can't even get into it, but the reason why you do something is so you don't get it as bad. No. Revisionist history right in your freaking face. We were told so you wouldn't get it to prevent you from getting it. Then when they found out it wouldn't prevent, that's when the story shifted. Oh, it's better. How do they know if you would have got it worse or better? How do you determine that? Huh? How do you determine it? It's all bullcrap. Ivermectin sounds like it's 1,000 times more helpful than a certain other drug. Gene therapy shot shall not be named. All I know is for me, it was a miracle. 1 pill a day for 5 days. 1 pill a day for 5 days. That's all it took. And the first pill was the miracle. When I went to bed that night, it was literally, my throat was so bad and my lungs were so bad. It was like, if I coughed, it was like razor blades all in my lungs. And it was just constant razor blades moving back and forth in my throat. I was constantly drinking water. Finally fell asleep and woke up at 3 a.m. Sore throat gone, fever gone. Cough wasn't gone, but it didn't hurt anymore. No, when have you ever had your lungs feel that bad that all of a sudden, that slowly normally gets better if you have a normal flu? This was, and my sinuses were clear. It was like, whoa, this is awesome. I look 10 years younger. Maybe it does that too. I got my hair cut. That's probably it. Dang, that's all that is. And I did shave. I got lazy with shaving because of not feeling well with COVID, but I shaved and yep, the sheep will keep feeding the beast. And as long as they do, it's going to stay. Hello, D&B. Good to see you. And you too, Dank. And Carbide. And how do they know it's COVID? You know what? I just like, remember the toilet paper? You can't get a rapid test, not in Arizona. After I had the symptoms and I was convinced that this is different than any other flu I ever had, I tried to get a test. Couldn't get one. So they were like, oh, you can schedule one online. Well, the nearest place I could get within a day or two was an hour and 15 minutes to the northwest of me in Surprise, Arizona. And that wasn't happening. I don't even know what the hours were or what days, but that showed up. Nothing in my area showed up. Closer than an hour and a half. So I happened to be at a CVS. I hate CVS, but I figured since everybody else pretty much around here hates them too, maybe they'll have a test left. But they didn't. So like, oh, just go online and make an appointment. 3, 4, 5 days out, I checked. No appointments anywhere. I kept clicking different stores. No, pick a different day. Pick a different. These people are panicking to get tested for what? You're healthy and people are going out getting tested. It's crazy. Weston just quit. Let me see. Just kidding. Let's see what you said. First, I would like to thank my family, Mr. on TV. After some long discussion, I would like to announce I am decommitting from Flat Earth. I'm 100% committed to covering OU football. That's funny, Weston. But I have done a lot today, so it'll be a short stream tonight. I am tired, and I had the normal stuff with Charlie and things like that. Walking him, and I had to make him dinner today, and that's a process. That's like an hour. But anyway, I made it, and I'm doing well. So let's. I know not everybody's seen it because there was only 40 some views, but let's take a look at this. And I'm not going to go over the whole thing. I just want to show you. And it's a bad video because I'm assuming that the people seeing it are on the stream and they're up to date, and that's wrong. I shouldn't have done that, but I'm not thinking straight quite yet. So I'll probably either make that part of a playlist that's like number 2 or 3, or just get rid of it and then bring it back after I explain what the heck, why am I talking about shadows? All right, so here's the video. Let me get there. And did that work on your side? Yeah, it worked. Good. All right. Now, what I did was, this is sunrise, and here the shadow should be on the ground. It's not. But anyway, it's the longest. The shadow is the longest at sunrise, right? And that's because it's perpendicular to the stick. It's the longest. And if you haven't seen this, wait till you hear this. So as we go along, oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to, no, I'm not going to play it. So as it goes higher, I wonder why sometimes it does that and sometimes it just goes right through. Let's do it this way. So, of course, when the sun's at the top, we get just a little teeny shadow, and then it disappears, right? And then as the sun comes out, and the animation is not perfect, as the sun comes down on the other side, and moves over to the other side, the shadow length starts to lengthen on the other side, correct? We all know this. And I was thinking about this. I'm like, you know what? Whenever it's parallel, and I may have put it too high, but let's just say it's right at the surface of the earth. That is when the shadow should be the longest. It's the shortest. Again, let's look when it's the shortest. It's the shortest when the sun is directly overhead. We know this. And that means, so when it's 0 degrees relative to this pole, it's the shortest. And this first view is like an east-west view. And what they want to say is that, well, we'll get there. So the shadow is the longest, again, when it's parallel with the pole. But what happens, because they're saying if you go up in elevation, you're actually seeing the sun below parallel. You're seeing, again, if you're going to Mount Everest, you're seeing, if you can see one new sunrise every 100 feet. Now, who knows if that's true or not? But according to Polster, that's what it is. You go up every 100 feet with your drone. As far as it'll go, you'll see a new sunset every 100 feet. Okay, so then and let's just assume that means it's one sun diameter per 100 feet that's going to be below here. So on Mount Everest, it should be 260 sun diameters below. And we're going to see a video from Wolfie where he, again, I would be shredded to pieces if I did a video with sloppy as this. Then maybe he was just there for enjoyment or whatever, and just at the last minute was like, hey, I'm noticing something. So maybe that's it. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. So as the sun gets down, it's no longer parallel. It's less than parallel. The shadow should start to retreat. And if you take this all the way to where the sun is opposite, now, as I say in the video, what if you can see through the earth? If the sun shone through the earth, how would this shadow behave? Well, first of all, it would come off the ground. It would start pointing upward. But when the sun got opposite, 12 hours, later, from noon at midnight, the shadow would disappear like it did over top, and then it would start growing back the other way until it got to sunrise. And I don't think anybody's thought about that before. So then what I said was, okay, now we're at 3,000 feet. So we're on this little teeny mountain that's 3,000 feet up. What's the difference? Now, this time we're going to look at the shadow from the top. And pretend the sun's going behind this pole. We're looking at it from due north, and the sun is going to go behind it to the south. So we're in the northern hemisphere, the word they use in this model. And so what happens is, as it gets higher, the shadow starts to shrink, right? It shrinks. And it points more downward, or more points towards the north, okay? And then, as it gets on the other side, at some point, now we're 3,000 feet, so the shadow should not only get shorter, because we're now below the 90 degrees. 90 degrees would be the longest shadow ever. You can't get a longer shadow than 90 degrees parallel. So as it gets below, which they say is why we can see all these sunsets as you go to higher altitude, this should be not parallel anymore. It should be pointed up. And then in the video we're going to see from Wolfie, that's exactly what he claims is going on. But again, the shadows should retreat. Now, if you remember the last time we looked at the video of Mount Everest, those shadows never retreated. They did not retreat. And again, that should have been many, that should have been 250 sunsets worth of shrinkage because they should shrink from the first time it gets below parallel. And that doesn't happen. And it's not going to happen. And if it does, see, and again, we're at 3,000 feet. So this is not the scale or anything. I'm just trying to show it parallel. And then as it gets lower, it should rise up. If we project this on, we have a piece of paper here. We should be able to measure this thing rising as the sun goes down over the curvature of the earth. Alrighty, so that is that. So the shadow has to get smaller if it's below us. The shadow has to get smaller. Again, take the opposite. The sun is on the opposite side, and if it can somehow shine up through the earth, the shadow wouldn't, it would be just like what we first saw. There would be no shadow east or west. It's perpendicular. It's straight up and down, right? 0 degree angle from the pole. When it gets to 90 degrees at sunrise, that's the longest shadow, which is what we witness. And as it gets closer, which makes it appear to be higher, the shadow gets less. What makes the light, the shadow, well, there's two things that can make the shadow grow and shrink. The distance of the light source is one relative to where you are. And the other one is its elevation or not elevation. They're claiming the elevation goes below the earth. So what I'm proposing is, now I'm going to get on Google Earth. There's a mountain here called Australia Mountain. I used to live in Australia Mountain, but I've never gone to the park. It's roughly 4,000 feet in elevation. The problem we have in Arizona, though, is that there's mountains everywhere. We live in a huge valley, but on the earth outskirts of the valley, it's mountains like 360 degrees almost. So what I need to do is get on Google Earth before I travel over there. That's an hour drive, and probably more because once you get in the park, who knows what the deal is there. But I'm going to see if I can figure out, like, the sun sets at whatever 262 degrees right now this time of year. I'm going to look at that direction on Google Earth and see if there's any mountains in the distance. What we need nothing, and then I should be able to get 40 sunsets before I see my final sunset, and I should see, well before the final sunset, I should see the shadow shrinking, and I should see the angle of sunlight going up, and that's that. So let's look at Wolfie's video, and I am going to share the audio on this one. He makes two comments in this thing. He touches the ceiling, and he's showing a pylon in the background, and he says, "See, this is not good for flat earthers because when I touch the ceiling, it's at the top of this pylon, and all that means is the sun is parallel or appears parallel because of how far distant it is. So it appears parallel. Then he claims, you got me how you can make this out. And I'll stop the video and I think I'll show you what I think he's doing, but it's so sloppy. And as you can see, or something like this, he says the sun is coming in at a slight upward angle. They're on the 102nd floor of the World Trade Center, which I think is 1,365 feet, something roughly that. And so let's take a look at that. I'll mute my my mic here and see if I can find it. It's called A Nice Sunset in New York is More Bad News for Flat Earth. This is the bad news for them. And guess what? I'm so convinced that I'm right on this. Trudeau is hiding from his own shadow. Hi, DCM and DMB. I'm so convinced of this that if I go to 4,000 feet, whatever, 400 feet, doesn't matter. That's the fourth sunset. But I'm going to get as high as I can. And I see the sun, the shadow angling upward and getting shorter. It should do both, but especially angling upward at all, then I'll believe it's a globe because that can't happen on our model. But if not, that's definitive. So the higher I can get up, the better. Oh gosh, I just got a YouTube notification. Somebody did a video, The Return of the King, Rapture 2022, The Simpsons. The Simpsons predict it. Predict the future once again. Yeah, how about Nostradamus and all his predictions? Don't get me started. And I'm not claiming it either, Igor. Did you hear what I said? Did you listen? I said, I don't know. I'm just assuming. Doesn't matter, though. If I'm at 4,000 feet, hey, he was at 1,600 feet above sea level, wherever that's measured from, and claimed that the angle was going up. So many different, now that I've looked at this, so many people on the globe side claim that once you can see that second or third or fourth sunset, that angle is coming up because you're seeing over the curve. We actually looked at videos with that. So I don't care really about the angular size. Forget I even said it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're seeing over the curvature of the earth and it should be pointing up. Case closed. So forget I said it because this is bullshit that the other side will grab onto to say that discredits it. You said it was one angular size. Well, it looks like one angular size. You go up 100 feet, you get the whole sun again. Go up another 100 feet, you get the whole sun again. It looks like one angular size. But that's all. It just looks it. I can't prove it. And I don't care to prove it. Doesn't matter. Stupidity in action is latching on to little tidbits. This is why the best thing to do is actually be a funnel where you are razor sharp with just one thing, because they'll just, you mention one little thing that, oh, it's possible that blah, blah, blah. See, he said that he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Sorry, I'm in a mood tonight. Pardon my language. All right, so I'm going to let you hear this from where it is, and then I guess we'll go back and it's not going to be long. I noticed they even hit them. Flat Earth, Wikipedia, they get their thing if you see it on here. Let me find the video. All right, guys, I'm going to start it. I think it's maybe we're going to see a minute of it, maybe. All right, let me mute my microphone and you should be able to hear it. Here we go. just real quickly, look at the type of work he's doing. And then I'm the one getting hammered on one angular size, but I didn't even claim it. I even said, I don't know. I'm sure this is champion science right here. Let's see how much of the scientific method is employed.
Very slight upwards angle. In fact, you can see the sunlight there. So that means the sunlight is now coming into the building at a very slight upwards angle. Yeah. So that means the sun. So the base of the sun has just touched the horizon. And if we look behind us, as I touch the ceiling here, you can see my shadow on the pylon is reaching all the way to the top. So the rays of light from the sun are actually quite horizontal now.
Horizontal, I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with horizontal. It's so far, the sun is so far away, it's going to be basically horizontal. I still think there's going to be a slight downward bias, but that's for me to prove later. We shall see. So let's now skip to where he said the sun is coming in at a, and I'm just guessing what he means here because he shows this, and I'm assuming he's saying this right here. Pardon me. This pink area. So is the sun coming in at a freaking 5-inch stripe? I just don't get it. And if you looked at the window, you'll note there's all kind of crap in the way. You got this up here. People, and I don't know, like I said, he doesn't actually say what it is, but he claims it's coming in at an upward angle, a slight upward angle. And this is only 1,000 feet, 1,600 feet above sea level. Come on, where is it? There it is.
The sunlight.
See, what it is maybe he's saying, oh, see, there's sunlight on the tile, but it doesn't go all the way back. Is that what it is? I don't know. I don't know. But why isn't it going all the way back? But we're going to find out. So the deal is, they've made these claims. I'm glad I've got this video because I will come back to it, trust me. But if I did something that shoddy, wow. They closed City Hall after increasing property taxes as much as 150% this month. It's insane. Where are you, DMB? You know, Igor, why don't you go prove it and don't tell me what to do and not to do? This is my channel. I'm sorry. I'm just not in the mood for crap tonight. And I shouldn't even have to go to a mountain. I'm 1,500 feet above elevation where I live. All I have to do is get 200 feet higher and find a place to the west where there's no mountains. And I'll be at the exact same height he was. And let's see how the stick and the shadow works on that one. Again, Igor, I didn't claim it. Go back and listen to what I said. I said something like, I don't know. And it doesn't matter. I don't care if it's 45 freaking sun diameters or 1/10 of one sun diameter. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Forget I said it. Doesn't matter. The claim is we're seeing over the earth once we get above base elevation, and every 100 feet you go up, you can see another sunset. And I've got that in writing. And we just saw this from 1,600 feet. I just got to find another 150 feet from where I live right here. And I can go to Camelback Mountain and do that. I got all kind of places I can go. The problem here again is the mountains on the horizon, which may not matter if you're 4,000 feet up, especially if they're small mountains. You went to Phoenix once? It's flat, no mountain. Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah, it's flat. It's a giant valley, but trust me, you get up a little bit in elevation. There's mountains all around. I have a mountain called South Mountain, very close to me. In fact, let's see what the elevation is there. I love it there. That's my shroom spot. What is the elevation of South Mountain, Arizona? 2,700 feet elevation. So it's between 2,700 and 2,710. So that's like 80% more roughly, I don't know, than the World Trade Center. That should show it even more. Hello, Michael B. So, like I said, I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about the forget I said it. It's just something stupid to latch onto. Means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. 5 degrees per 100 feet, 50 degrees per 100 feet, 1/5 of 1 degree at 50 feet, 1/1,000,000th of a degree. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? If the angle of the shadow at an elevation at sunset, if the perpendicular shadow, which I know it'll be perpendicular to slightly down, if that is raised beyond perpendicular, I'll switch to the globe. That's how I'm convinced I am. And now that I've thought this through, I'm going to measure the shadow length. And we should get the maximum shadow length whenever the sun is the most parallel. Then it should start shrinking. And there's no way. That's just the science of the physics of light and shadow. I'm not sure if this proves local summer night through Maine mouth. The only direction is up. Yeah, that's right. The only direction is up. That's very good, because that's what we're actually going to be looking at. Is the red down with the sun? When the curve of the earth blocked the sun on a globe. That's exactly what they say, Carbide. That's their model. The earth, not necessarily the curve of the earth, but the earth does block the sun because we turn away from it, and the curvature gets in the way, and we can't see further than that. So, but I'm sorry I'm drinking so much water, guys. It's just to keep me from coughing. We looked at that diagram before where they actually show it. They actually show a person above the globe looking down, and that's why they can see the sunset from 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet. In fact, does anybody on the globe side want to join me? And right there with you, if we get what you say, if we get a upward tilt to the sun angle, then I'll right there with you say, yeah, I believe it's a globe now. And what are you going to do if it doesn't do it? What are you going to do if it's just parallel or slightly down? and the shadow doesn't shrink after sunset, after the first sunset. That's how confident I am that this is definitive. There's no refraction to get in the way. No bull crap like that. I'm sure they're going to say, in the 3 feet where the shadow was, you had 17 different degrees of change and density in the atmosphere. So using Snell's law and what was going on at the moment, we calculate that the shadow was pointed down because it was refracted by 3 inches. They might come up with some kind of bull crap, and don't let it escape you to think that they can't come up with stupid shit like that. I'm sorry, I gotta stop. Hello, Andrew Munchkin. Hello. So, let's see. Now, here's the other one. Russia attacks Ukraine over the weekend, and the Federal Reserve raised interest rate next week. The stock market dropped 66%. Looking forward to Monday. Yes, that's the other thing we need to talk about. I'm going to give you my opinion on this. I think I did last stream, but I can't remember. I don't care if Russia goes into Ukraine. I don't care if they go into Bulgaria. I don't care if they go into the Balkans. I don't care if they go into France. I don't care if they go into Germany. I don't care if they go into Sicily or Greece. I don't care if they go into the UK. I don't care. And we shouldn't care. Not one American person should die for that. If these people in Europe, they've had all this time since the Cold War, well, we did 90% of the bill, probably, or more, with the backdoor crap, feeding the military-industrial complex. If these people in Europe can't cough up the money, they can cough it up for climate change, but they can't cough it up to defend themselves. That's up to the U.S. citizen to pay for. Bull crap. You want to not worry about Russia? Then beef up your military and your reserves and everything. So that's a deterrent. Don't depend on us. And this is a big distraction coming. Hello, Just Ask. And maybe it's a distraction against the economy totally collapsing. We're on the verge. DMB, it's climate change. This is actually the first normal Arizona year, almost a year now that it's been normal. Started about March when we finally moved back to about normal. In 5 years here. Yep, Veet, I am. Thank you, Glenn. Yeah, I am feeling better. Thank you very much. How far in that video would we say the Earth rotated and the amount of curve is there? Well, I guess they could mathematically say, okay, if you're at 1,600 feet, then you can see X amount over. I remember and their warlock himself, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's the one who made the claim about this too. I'm going to prove that the Earth is round. Just go to Toronto, watch the sunset, then go up to the tower, and so many minutes and seconds later, they'll have their sunset. Well, the time wasn't right, but in any case, that's a proof to the other side, which means it has to be angled upward, just like we saw in Wolfie's video. In fact, I meant to check, what is his Wolfie 6020. And then you have comments like this. If the sun was above a flat Earth, it would never set at all. If you had a candle and you lit it and you were on a 80-mile plane, nothing in the way, just you and 80 miles of flat road, you're in Kansas. Do you think at 20 miles away you could see that candle? 30 miles? Why not? Because the atmosphere blocks the light. Same thing with any intensity light. eventually the atmosphere is going to block it. Here's another. If the sun was above, it would never disappear. I like this one. This is from Jack 1059. It's a sad testament to our society that a group of people won't believe an actual international airline pilot, scientists, teachers, etc. From each one of those categories, we've had flat earthers that have, once they get out of the system, because they don't want to cut off their funds when they're in the system. Once they retire, yeah, it's flat. Mm-hmm. But have no problem listening to someone behind a keyboard in their mother's basement. Who do you think Wolfie is? I mean, that was about as scientific as, I don't know, nothing. We don't know where that shadow was on the ceiling. Was that caused from that bar going across the thing? Or was he pointing at the pink stripe? I don't know. I hope he didn't go there for that purpose, because it was about as anti-scientific method as you can get. He wouldn't have had to destroy a neighbor slamming back gate. We'll take your focal shift. And as a Marine, were you ever taught to shoot or fire a weapon depending on what direction you were facing, east, west, north, south? Because of Coriolis effect, you had to make an adjustment. Just curious. Yeah, Uncle Joe can't even point out Russia on a map. I don't think he can point out the USA on a map. I think what he would do is if he was showing a map, he'd be like, where's my crayons? So he could fill it in. But this is going to happen, in my opinion. They're telegraphing it. They telegraphed what was coming in 2020, right? They telegraphed it well in advance. And it was so much gaslighting that if you didn't believe it, something was, I remember when it was first starting, people were like, no, it's just nothing. It was like, no. They are gaslighting us to death with this. This is going to be horrible. And here we are. What is it? We're almost 2 years into it. One more month. But that reminds me of, and I don't even know if I want to say it because one day I might do it. You ever heard of hydrofluoric acid? It was in Breaking Bad, actually. It doesn't melt plastic, but it'll melt everything else. So you have to store it in plastic. And these cameras, which they got rid of in Arizona, except if it's a school there, they put the cameras, and it's totally so unconstitutional. Oh, but Rich, the kids have to know how to. You don't want to hit the kids when they cross the street. First of all, no kids are crossing the street. They're all getting on the bus. And most of the time, where I drive, it's a high school. I'm sorry, but if you're 17 years old and you don't know how to cross the street yet, anyway, these stupid, cameras, and if you don't know how that works, companies, it's not the state doesn't make these cameras. They're made by private companies, and they go into and make a contract with the city or whatever that you live in, your municipality. And they're like, we can give you, you'll get revenue from these cameras. It's all about money. And guess what? About 80 to 90% of the revenue, it goes to the company that puts up the cameras. It's not going to fix your streets. It's not going to do anything. And they got it down so well pat here in Arizona. One of the reasons why they talked people into allowing them still at schools and other busy intersections or whatever is the fact that, not just the revenue, and how that is. But they were like, you can go to a school, online school, and you won't get a ticket for it. And you get one of these things, and you have your choice. You can plead guilty, you check the thing, and pay the fine. So let's say the fine's $325. It's never cheap, never cheap. You're like, you know what? I don't want to do that. I'm going to take the class. Magically, the class costs the same as the fine. You're at the same money in the end. It's just what a crooked. And we vote for people to do this to us. Randy Cochran, hello. But that hydrochloric acid or hydrofluoric acid, I just dream of walking by with a jar in my hand. I unscrew it before I get there and just slosh it on there. And come back the next day and see this all crumpled up piece of crap. I think I told you guys before. Again, you can't face your accuser. You can't. The camera doesn't testify except for the picture. And my son was in a right turn on red at a light. He was sitting there, had the blinker on, showed up in the picture. And a car to his left went through a red light, went through the light as it was red. The next picture shows that car well beyond the light, and my son's still sitting there with the blinker on. He did a long right on red stop. And when I got to court, they were like, here's your only defenses. We don't want to hear from you if it's not this. 1, you weren't the driver. 2, you were getting out of the way of an emergency vehicle. And there was 2 others. Same stupid crap. Like, there's no way the camera could be at fault. So I got up and said, Your Honor, I don't have any of these defenses right here, but the camera's wrong. Because if you look at the pictures, you'll see that my car, the one that's licensed, the one there, the reason why I'm here, it's sitting there the whole time. It never does go through the red light. All of a sudden, they're like, what? And the cop, he's doing the same thing. They're looking up the pictures. And see, that's the fail-safe. The cop is supposed to notice it. Why didn't he notice it? I lost it. And they were like, okay, case dismissed. Not sorry, nothing. I lost a whole day of work, and he lost a whole day of school. Randy, what's your liver issues? Sorry to hear that. I got some good things to talk about liver health. Watch the kids walk in the telephone poles with their eyes glued to the phone. Randy, if the liver issues are typical of, and it doesn't have to be alcohol, it could be any kind of drugs, even prescription drugs, Tylenol. But if it's that type of liver issues, I'm not a doctor, I'm a meteorologist. What I would do is I would get, how do I spell this? I cannot spell. I'm not an English professor. I'm pretty sure this is it CA? KA? CA. Hudka. That's what I would take if it was me. It's not necessarily cheap. It's not very cancer. It ain't gonna help the cancer, as far as I know. Cirrhosis. Not sure the spelling. It would help with the cirrhosis though. Tudka is known for that. The other thing, people say milk thistle, but I think that's too mild. Tudka is good. There's something else I'm not thinking of right now. There you go. Rebel Soul. Milk thistle helps the liver. I mean, I would include it in the regimen. But there's one. Oh, N-acetylcysteine, NAC. NAC. And one company I know that does it right because it stinks. You have to put it in the capsules yourself because usually the capsules are sold out. Let me check for you. I've gotten NAC before and it wasn't good NAC. NAC. That's N-acetylcysteine. That's relatively cheap. That's good for glutathione, which is good for the liver. Let's see. It says NAC may. You have to say may because the FDA for some reason just won't comment. NAC may support the kidneys, liver, and lungs and promote healthy immune function. I wonder why they tried to make it a prescription recently within the last 2 years. Immune function. Detoxify to support and protect kidneys and liver. And I even have a discount code I can give you, but I'd have to look it up. Let's see what they got in stock. Yeah, they don't have any capsules in stock. But 3.5 ounces is $18. 500 grams, that's quite a bit. That's $43.96. Wait a minute, this is saying it's 600 milligrams, so that would be a capsule. Supplement size 1 capsule. But it's not giving me that choice, so it's got to be sold out. But you know what? Next time, Randy, I'll get you that discount code. I'm approved to do that. You think you got rid of all the cancer? Oh, that's awesome, Randy. Yeah, I would do that if it was me personally. I'm not telling you to do it. I would get Tudka, and there's a good brand on Amazon. It's called Maxi Life Naturals. But for a while, you couldn't get NAC because, oh man, what happened there? Because someone discovered that was very good for boosting the immune system, and for some reason they didn't want people to. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't the reason. It's only been natural and sold that way for since people have been buying supplements. How's that? There it is. That's the brand on Amazon that I get. It's $30, and it is. See, how many capsules is it? I think it's 60. Take 1 capsule 1 to 2 times daily with a meal. If I had what you have, I would probably take 2 capsules twice daily. If it was me. MaxiLifeNaturals.com. You might be able to find it somewhere else cheaper, but Amazon's usually a good price for whatever. 60 servings. Yes, so there's 60 capsules. Most people don't know about Tudka. Nope, Banana, I am not a doctor. I'm a meteorologist. Banana, you just stumbled on us, huh? Random channel. How did you come? What was I recommended in the feed or something? I am someone who has paid attention to health for the most part of most of my adult life, at least the last 40 years. And I do a lot of my own research. And that's right, I'm a PhD PhD/P. I'm a pseudo PhD. And good to have you, Banana. Banana Bowie. Interesting name. I would say from the name female, but you can tell me if I'm wrong. And I always do my own research. And for example, I just got COVID last Friday. And I knew in advance that if I ever got COVID, I personally, not for anybody else, would do ivermectin. And when I got my first dose, 10 hours 10 hours after that, might be dying now. Still get the dry throat. I was amazingly better. Amazingly. Yeah, that'll scare Banana off. We're mostly flat earthers, but talk about a lot. We talk about politics. We talk about nutrition. We talk about flat Earth. We talk about politics, geopolitics. We talk sometimes about finances, like on a macro scale, like what's happening in the world and stuff like that. Exactly. Let's go, Brandon. I would say that nearly 100% of the people here would wear a Let's Go Brandon shirt. In fact, this is not my main channel. My main channel is called Mr. Thrive and Survive. This is a backup channel called Flat Earth. I always forget the last part of it. Flat Earth Explored. It used to be called Wake the Republic, but I don't think we can wake the Republic anymore. It's gone. And yeah, we don't talk about Q because show me the money, no evidence. Yeah, we like conspiracies a lot. And so many have come true that we believed in. Isn't that amazing? And we talk about bodybuilding. That's right, Michael B. I've got a channel. You can find the link in the description. That's bodybuilding. And I think I just did my first nutrition video there. Was it nutrition? No, that was yeah, technically nutrition. It had to do with pre-workout stuff. But I'm going to talk about a lot about nutrition. I talked about this before on the stream. And I'm so used to, it used to be my camera was on my computer, and how this boosts free testosterone levels. And this, the Truman Show. Truman, have you heard that beetroot can actually lower people's blood pressure and helps with circulating blood? So they say. I've had 2 heart attacks, Banana, so I really started looking at stuff after that and what can prevent that. And I found a doctor online who said that he's a cardiologist, and a pretty well-respected high-up cardiologist. And he had always eaten right, done the right stuff, exercise, cardio, blah, blah, blah. He went just to get his score, and they were like, you're on the verge of massive heart. You're on the verge, actually. I think he said he was on the verge, not of just heart attacks, but he would need at least double bypass surgery. That's how clogged his arteries were. So he's determined that his teaching was wrong because he followed the teaching perfectly. And he had that issue. And he didn't have high cholesterol. And his conclusion, not mine, but I followed his advice afterwards, was that it's inflammation and calcium in the bloodstream that mixes with cholesterol. It's not that the cholesterol is bad. In fact, I keep seeing more and more studies about cholesterol, and it's no wonder they've tried to keep it from us. Cholesterol lowers your hormones, no matter what, male or female. And it starves your brain of energy because the brain runs mostly on cholesterol. And I saw a study that showed that the people with the lowest LDL cholesterol, which is what they want, the low density lipoprotein, which is the bad cholesterol, that is a very good marker for death. The lower it is, the chances are more that you're going to die. How's that? That's a study. I didn't write the study. What we know on this channel anyway is that virtually everything we've been told in our lifetime has been a lie. Nutrition wise, you had the food pyramid, which pushed carbohydrates. Why did they push carbohydrates? Because they were a Kellogg's and Quaker and all these big companies were smart, and they lobbied Congress and said, this red meat and fats and all that stuff, that's bad for you. So we went through this whole low fat craze. It's still there. You can go just see low fat milk, low fat ice cream, low fat candy, low fat anything. Well, guess what is higher in low fat foods? Carbohydrates. Take a gallon of whole milk and look at how many carbohydrates are in it. Then put it next to skim milk. See how many carbohydrates are in it. There's more in the skim milk. Something's got to fill up the volume, and it's carbohydrates. Well, carbohydrates are to do little steps, spikes your insulin over time, and inflammation as well. And over time, decreases your insulin sensitivity. So when you do eat something sweet, your body has to pump out more insulin to take care of it so you don't die. And eventually the pancreas wears out doing that because it's just a constant build. And we were told low fat. And low fat starves the brain, starves the hormones. These are facts. These are well documented in the medical journals, but they don't make it to the mainstream and they don't make it to government. So they gave us the food pyramid where fats were the worst. Remember, it's just a little teeny bit at the top of the pyramid, and all the way at the bottom were the grains. Grains are the worst in this country. I don't know if you're from this country, but grains are the worst. Yeah, you got me, Randy. That is my savior, is whole milk, because I've gotten to the point with bodybuilding that I can't gain weight. It's very hard. I had an instance of I don't know, about a month or so ago where I eat 4,200 and some calories. I decided to add it up. And I lost weight the next morning because it was mostly protein. And you get to a point when you get lean enough and you get enough muscle on you that your basal metabolic rate is so high that it's almost, if you don't cheat, I mean, I'm not going to eat carbs. I gain weight fast if I eat carbs because it screws your body up. But they lied about the food and Drug Administration. They lied about the food, and we're one of the only countries that allows high fructose corn syrup in our foods. It's in ketchup. It's in soda. It's in chips. I mean, not chips. It's in cake. They might get it in chips. Who knows? It's in so many different things that people don't even realize. High fructose corn syrup. It's in pickles where they have sweet pickles, whatever. It's crazy. It's an artificial sweetener that Japanese scientists developed that's more addictive than sugar, but cheaper. And the Food and Drug Administration is one of the very few in all the world that said, yeah, this is fine. Why? They got lobbied for it. Because money is pervasive in our system, it's corrupt top to bottom. And we talk religion too, by the way. So people in this chat are like, no, don't go there. The Bible's all about bread. However, the Bible, they didn't have GMO bread. That's our issue. We have GMO wheat. And the Bible they didn't strip. I've told this story before, but I know there's always new people. Here's the deal. Look at a loaf of white bread. It always 100% will be fortified with 57 vitamins, whatever. They brag about it that it's fortified with vitamin A, vitamin B, whatever. And it has to be. It has to be. Because we strip out. God made food a certain way. When you take part of it away and then just eat the rest, you're going to get an imbalance. like these people that just eat egg whites, you're going to end up with a vitamin B big problem before long, because that egg white wants it. It needs it to be processed, to process certain things, to say it as simply as I can. When we take the husk and whatever else off, I'm not a agriculturalist, but when you separate what is naturally in the food, and this is before you even GMO it, there's going to be issues. So white bread, almost any bread, is going to be fortified, but white bread in particular. Why? You're not going to believe this, but it's 100% true. If you ate a couple slices of white bread and it wasn't fortified, it would literally kill you. And that's not a lie. That's the truth. It would literally kill you. And if it didn't kill you, you'd be so sick you might wish you were dead. But it would literally, I think it's 2 slices, if I remember, would kill you. Because it starts, if it didn't have those vitamins, it would start stripping everything it could to protect you from how nasty and rotten that bread is, because they've taken all the other natural stuff away from it so that it's nice and soft and tastes good. It rips magnesium. Even with a fortification, it rips magnesium from your muscles. So if you want to get into bodybuilding or whatever, don't eat white bread. Yep, there you go. Randy remembers white Wonder Bread, fortified with 8 essential vitamins. That's right. Remember that? And what it means is that means the A group, B group. It's not just 8. Look on there. It'd be like B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, all the way up. White rice, that too. White rice isn't as bad. I'm not a rice person, so I haven't looked deeply into it, but I've never looked at rice as bad, other than the fact that it's a starchy carb, and that's why I don't generally eat it. Now, if I'm going to do a video on this. So a potato bread. It's not just potatoes. It's not just potatoes. There's got to be wheat in it. Let's look up potato bread. Let's look at the ingredients. Oh my gosh. Here it's, I don't even know the whole recipe, but this is gross. Olive oil, okay. Milk, okay. Instant yeast. I don't know why you need instant. Sugar. Russet potato. I'm going to click on this and see what else. I can't believe you go to these places. It's like, where's the recipe? The recipe calls for russet potatoes, but over the years, our readers have shared other options. They rehydrate 3/4 of a cup of mashed potatoes. Potato bread is usually made with regular all-purpose white flour. There you go. Potato bread is usually made with regular all-purpose white flour. Some of you may try a 55-50 blend with all-purpose or bread flour, whole wheat flour, or whole wheat flour or white whole wheat flour. Acorn flour, spelt. I used to like spelt because I used to have an issue with bread when I ate it, with indigestion. So yeah, there's potato in it, but there's also white flour in most of them. So there we got that. Well, freedom for all. So there's your answer. Randy, but they advertise they eat heavily. Yes, they do. Yeah, got to make sure it's in there, because otherwise everybody be suing. Because my family came over for Thanksgiving and we got these rolls from Schmidt's Blue Ribbon Bread, and everybody that ate a roll died. ZG. There's so many things that it's just crazy. And to me, you can be a zealot. Like my son Michael, he's a zealot with it until he's not. Because I don't think anybody can. I mean, I guess some people can. He won't eat anything. He's pretty much all carnivore, which I'm mostly carnivore. I'm animal based, is what I should say. Most of my diet is animal based, and which, by the way, sustains the earth much better than vegan. So we've been lied about that. But he'll get organic everything, organic, grass fed, or free range beef and things like that, and pay all this money. And then before you know it, all of a sudden he's going to Senior Taco to get their crap. So to each his own. I think as long as you try to eat and do eat well most of the time, there's nothing wrong with cheating now and then. The body can handle a lot of stuff. I mean, it handled me smoking 20 years and eating white bread and whatever. It wasn't until the first time I actually had success at losing body fat was when I started cutting out carbohydrates. And the only this was long before it became popular, long before you could find low carb anything in the store. My ex-father-in-law, he had a book from the 50s, just a little pamphlet, and it was the low carbohydrate diet. And I just started reading it one day. I was like, well, I'll try it. And I started losing weight like crazy. Fat. You know what I have a problem with? It's not the Sky Trails with anything organic. My problem is who is actually monitoring this stuff to make sure it's organic. And here's another problem. If it's an organic, I guess it's anything. But just look, let's just use plants for now. Most plants get flowers on them. And so let's say you go buy organic oranges. They all had blooms. How do you know the bees that cross-pollinated those flowers didn't come from a totally GMO'd, sprayed on with roadkill, whatever place, and then they went over to this organic orchard and pollinated the oranges there? Bacon is a superfood. You know, if they didn't put nitrates in it, Freedom, I'd be eating bacon all the time. But the nitrates, and I'm not one of those people. Hello, Crow. Good to see you, buddy. Crow from Egypt. Welcome. One of the few people on the other side that I actually enjoy. Very good guy. So don't pick on Crow. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about something. My mind's gone. COVID killed me. Randy, I'll be 62 in a week. And I have abused myself food-wise. And I'm surprised I've made it this far along. Yeah, Randy, when you think about everybody that went through the 60s, 70s, especially the later 70s, 80s, when they started introducing all these chemicals and preservatives and high fructose corn syrup. Well, the chemicals and preservatives, they were long before the 70s. But I remember, I was just talking to someone about this. When I was in high school, if there was one person on the bus, and our buses were city buses, big city buses, and we were bussed. And the buses were packed, absolutely packed, because our whole neighborhood had to go to this one school to balance out the race. It made it 10% white when we went. In any case, if there was one person on the bus that was overweight, not only did they stand out, but it was like you remembered it. It's like so rare. And now I haven't been on a bus lately, but I bet you if I get on a bus, there won't be too many thin people. but it's totally changed, and it's not that all of a sudden, because they're like, well, everybody does fast food now. They were doing fast food when I was, trust me, they were doing fast food when I was going to school. But we didn't have high fructose corn syrup until like 78 or 79, just when I graduated in 78. That wasn't when I got my PhD, but that was high school. Bacon and nitrates. Yeah, the nitrates, what they do is, since I have chronic pain, I've gotten really good at noticing what causes inflammation in my body because that increases pain. And nitrates are one of them. In fact, I got and you never know for sure. If you do it once, you're like, okay, I don't want to go through that again. I got something with bacon on it. And that night I was in horrible pain. And I was like, well, it must be the nitrates. Because like I get organic, all beef, no nitrate, whatever, hot dogs. And they're actually as cheap as the others, which is amazing. But anyway, regular hot dogs, it's just unbelievable inflammation. No nitrate hot dogs, no problem. And I often will get a triple with cheese from Wendy's, and I don't eat anything but the burger and the cheese. And in fact, usually I say just put mustard and pickles on it. That's it. And but I don't eat the bread. I use the bread to just hold it, but I don't eat the bread at all. So the bread looks kind of interesting by the time I'm done. And one time I asked for the same thing that I always get, and they gave me a triple baconator. They put bacon on it, and I wasn't even thinking about it. So I just ate it, and I was like, oh, this is nice. It's different, whatever. Oh, my goodness. That night I was in such pain. And so the next day, because I keep track of everything, like, what did I do different? I was like, oh, yeah, I had that baconator. Yeah, you're right, Angus. Hard to buy cold cuts, but it's hard to buy any meat at all that's processed without nitrates. And I wish it didn't bother me, but it does. Yeah, freedom for all. I was in the medical field for a short period of time. And one of the first things you learn is every drug causes side effects. Every one. A lot of people on medication, and for every symptom it suppresses, it causes different ones. Absolutely. Now, you might not notice the side effect. I'm saying it can cause side effects. I don't even take aspirin anymore for my heart condition. You got to be on aspirin. Okay, thanks. 666. So I don't even. I just stopped. I was supposed to have a virtual appointment with my VA cardiologist 2 days ago, and I canceled it. All they want to do is shove medication down your throat, even though I'm perfect. Now, my arteries could be clogging again. I don't know, but they're not giving me anything to stop that, except they want to give me this stuff to lower my LDL. Remember I talked about LDL about 10 minutes ago? The lower your LDL is, the higher mortality rate you have. Interesting. Vintage. Yeah, there's a huge difference in grass-fed, grass-finished meats. Yes, it's grass-finished is what he gets. Thank you for that. No hormones, no antibiotics, no harsh pesticides, and no glyphosates. Yeah, or glyphosates, however it's pronounced. But Randy, again, what I would do is I'd be getting several bottles of Tunga or Tudka and NAC as well. And like I said, I will. I might even have it open here somewhere where I could give you the discount code. Oh, it's with me doing this business, Muscle Fast, it's just I've got a million tabs always open. Pour Coke on pork and see what happens. Oh, I'm curious. What happens, Veet? Tell us. Yeah, Carbide wants to know too. You have a second witness. Hey, Anna. Yeah, I don't know what my LDL currently is because I canceled my last I canceled my last blood work because I was like, I don't care what the blood work is. I don't care if it says my LDL is the highest they've ever recorded in the history of mankind. I'm not going to do anything about it. It's just, it is what it is. My total cholesterol, the last I did it was 180, but the ratio between good and bad, they like it to be 3 to 5, something like that. Mine wasn't that good. And I don't care. I don't care. Because after I listened to that cardiologist, this is me, I'm not, always talk to your doctor. When he said, your cholesterol matter is 0, as long as you don't have chronic inflammation, I have that. And the key was calcium in the bloodstream, because that's what makes the cement. That's the ingredient. He says you have to pull that calcium out of your bloodstream. And it made sense as soon as he said it, because I've always known, well, I haven't always known, but I've had a pituitary gland problem. And one of the problems is it, instead of jamming jamming, instead of putting the calcium into my bones, it lets some leak into the bloodstream. So even though there was no heart disease in my family, I had 2 heart attacks. And so he said he used 2 different things. I never did do the second thing. He said that was the start. I was like, well, I don't need to do the start because they cleaned me out when they went in with the stents. But the prevention for me is I take vitamin K2, and it's a certain kind that you have to get. MK. I'll let you guys know what I take. I'm not recommending this. See your cardiologist. See your doctor. Hey, how many people know what an arm blaster is? I know this is totally off subject, but I'm so happy about this. I haven't been able to do regular bicep curls for like 3 years, 2 years at least, because of my shoulders, because they stabilize. And so I have to do what are called concentration curls. And even that will hurt some. What was I looking up here? Oh, yeah, vitamin K. Vitamin K2, MK7. I take, is it 100 or 200 milligrams twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. And I have total confidence that I'm going to be fine. Oh, they've combined, this is good. They've combined vitamin D with it, but I don't like that because if you take one at night, vitamin D will tend to keep you up. So don't get it. Get the vitamin D separately and take that in the morning if you're going to take it. I'm not telling you to. I'm not telling you to. Let's see what they have in here. 90 micrograms. Sorry. Yeah. I take 200 micrograms a day. So did we ever find out what happens when you pour Coke on pork? Good, Randy. That's definitely what I would do. I always tended to have high liver values because of the pain med I had. They had to put acetaminophen in it. So I was getting almost 2 grams of acetaminophen a day before they said, "Oh well, we can cut this in half." That's just another joke. If you go anywhere except a pain management specialist, any other doctor, when you tell them Tylenol for pain, they're like, Tylenol doesn't do anything really for pain. It's like, yeah, I know. Tell that. But see, the pain management people, they need to push it because Tylenol, Big Pharma wants you to put that in there because they did some study 452,114 years ago to found that if you mix opioids and put Tylenol in there, the pain gets better than without the Tylenol. It's a joke. Carbide worms come out. Oh, yeah, that's why pork has got to be cooked very well. We all have parasites, which some people can be. Yep. In fact, um, that's what's going to eat off your flesh after you die. I don't care if you're hermetically sealed in a mayonnaise jar and put into a casket that can withstand the vacuum of space. Um, your flesh is going to be eaten off by the parasites inside of you. And the worms destroy this body, yet without my flesh shall I see God. And I wish I had a fabulous pain management doctor. Where are you, Anna? Please tell me you're in Arizona. No, I didn't know the worms would come out from Coke, ZG. I mean, I know there's worms in pork. Absolutely. Yeah. And you can get worms even in beef. Any uncooked meat can have worms in it. Any. But I didn't know about the pouring Coke on it. Houston, huh? My pain management doctor finally, I haven't been on pain meds in 2 years. The biggest problem right now is this trap right here because of a Navy injury. Which makes me succumb to ibuprofen, which I'm not supposed to take. But you get to the point, it's like, I don't even want to live with this kind of pain. But they finally said, okay, we're going to give you opioids. Okay. And they said, you can either get the patch. I don't do patches. I don't like patches. And when I found out later, the patch was stupid anyway. But what I don't like about patches is if it's opioids, I can't, like, let's say I want to have a totally clear head or I have a long way to drive, whatever. You take the patch off, it's still working for 8 hours, 10 hours. I don't want that. So I explained it to them, like, okay, or it's going to be this drug. And they gave me the name of the drug. I was trying to upload a video today. Charlie was in it. I was walking him, but YouTube, I think it's February 5th is when I can upload next to YouTube. And again, if you don't know what happened, I commented on the 2020 election. And I'm going to tell you, I did do a screen capture today. I want to tell you exactly what they told me. Oh, they wanted to give me naltrexone, Naltrexone. Now, I've never had a problem with addiction with or withdrawal, anything like that. And I was on a lot for a while. And I went off of it cold turkey. And there was no issues, none. I just guess I'm just one of the type that doesn't going to have that issue. And I haven't had any period in 2 years. It's sold on the brand names Revia and Vivitrol, among others. It's a medication primarily used to manage alcohol or opioid use disorder. If I drink 2 drinks a year, that's a lot. By reducing cravings and feelings of euphoria associated with substance use disorder. I wish I had substances to abuse, to be honest. Not that I would, but all right, here we go. January 21st. And this was like 3 or 4 days after they pulled it. So they got an extra 3 or 4 days on my suspension. Hi, Mr. Thrive and Survive. Our team has reviewed your content with a mask on, I'm sure. And unfortunately, we think it violates our misinformation policy. We removed the following content from YouTube. More cloud proof of sun height. Oh, and I got another comment where, don't you know the angle does go up? Can't you see that it lights the bottom of clouds? That's just people. I don't know how long you can talk about stuff and they just don't get it. Even the other side isn't claiming that anymore that I know of that watch the videos. I haven't had anybody hammer it. How can you hammer it? When you can show pictures of low-level clouds lit from underneath, mid-level clouds lit, and high clouds, and the other levels aren't lit. How can you explain that? It's an illusion. It's how you see. It's perspective. Anyway, we know this might be disappointing, you think? But it's important to us that YouTube is a safe place for all. What I said was unsafe. If content breaks our rules, we remove it. If you think we've made a mistake, you can appeal and take another look. Well, I've done that before. It doesn't do any good. Keep reading for more details. How your content violated the policy. Content that advances false claims that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches change the outcome of the U.S. 2020 presidential election is not allowed on YouTube. And then your channel won't be able to upload for 2 weeks. So that's what I got. Have I researched Suboxone? You have to have opioid dependence to get it legally. Like one for chronic pain. That's what it was made for. I've heard about Suboxone. You have to have a. Well, see, they were not going to. I don't have an opioid dependence, but thanks for that, Anna. Maybe I could claim it. After 2 years, I still have cravings. And I'm supposed to get surgery on my shoulder. That's like a year recovery and unbelievable amounts of physical therapy. And everybody I talk to, they're like, you're not going to believe the pain. And nobody will give me pain meds? No, not till I get that straightened out do I even talk about that. That's right, Carbide. I give you bad information about it was obviously bad. Yeah, you got it, Randy. What they don't want is they don't want the bad information. People can't make up their own mind and weigh. Like we used to be able to weigh the pros and cons of stuff. We could look at both sides. Now we're only allowed to look at one side of the issue because we're not smart enough anymore to determine on our own what might be best for us or what may be truth. Can you cut and bulk at the same time? Hey, never mind. What would you think if I put a section on my website, Muscle Fast website, where I have like where you can put a Q&A? You would have to join and give your email address or something because otherwise it would just be spammed to death. Can you cut and bulk at the same time? Technically, no, because what you're talking about, there's a thing called main gaining. I think maybe that's what you're talking about, which I've been pretty much doing for 2 years until now. I can't gain anymore just because I've gotten enough muscle and so lean, and I guess I'm active enough that no matter what I eat, because I eat so clean, I just don't gain weight. But I'm going to fix it. What you can do is you can be basically maintenance calories and build muscle. And what will happen is, or you can be in a very slight deficit. I think that's probably the best. Like a slight, like 50 to 150 calories deficit a day. And you have to play with your own food intake and track it for a week or two to see what's going on. That's the bad part. But once you get it down, you get it. You sort of know after a while. It's like me measure out a cup of milk. After a while, it's like, I know what a cup of milk looks like. So after a while, you get to know what kind of food you can eat and how much. But if you do that and you have a very slight energy deficit, the body, because it wants to preserve itself always, you've torn down muscle, it will take energy from fat stores and use that because it takes a lot of energy to build muscle and use that to build the muscle. And so you will slowly burn fat while building muscle. It's a slow boat to China, but I think it's actually probably the best boat in the long run, because what happens if you decide, I'm just going to bulk and then I'll cut and get it off? Well, you bulk for 6 months and you might have to cut for a year to get it off. It always comes on faster than it goes off. And when you cut, you are going to lose some muscle mass. It's just the way it is. So I'm all in favor of that type of main gaining. You sort of maintain your weight, but you keep adding muscle to it. Anna, I'm not a big believer in complex carbs, although I will mix them in because I do eat so clean. But you're right. MCT, that's my answer. Very good, Anna. Very good. That's my answer. See, I do 2 pre-workout drinks. There's no calories in them. I chase the pump always. I love the pump. So I chase it with pre-workout stuff. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start putting MCT oil in both of those because I do 2. I do 1 an hour and a half before I leave for the gym and 1 20 minutes before I leave. So I'm going to put MCT oil in both of those. I'm going to start like if I do a protein shake, which I haven't done much lately, but I'll go back to it. I just cycle through stuff. I'm always going to be putting it in that. It doesn't add anything to the taste or take away. It doesn't do anything, especially if you mix it up well with a blender. It just mixes right. You get these little teeny little fat things at the top. So what? You don't even notice it. Randy says, yep, I'm not like a Trump super fan, but his policies seem the best for the country. They're definitely better than the policies Biden's providing or Brandon, right? Radiation can cause a lot of pain for you. What kind of radiation is, Mitchell? You talking about where it actually burns you, like what they used to do with, like my grandfather, cancer patients? There you go. Paul's got it down. I would not disagree with that at all. Cut first in bulk, use protein, sparing recipes to cycle with keto carnivore. Yep. The other thing too, Anna, yeah, coconut oil, I've got that. I got to start cooking with that again. It does add a little flavor to it that I don't necessarily want with some things, but I could add that back in. I basically, I don't like, I'm not a fat person as far as I don't like eating fat. Like my son's always saying, when you cook the hamburger, don't drain off the fat. I was like, I can't do it. Sorry. He can. I just can't. I'll leave some, but I have to add the fats that, and fats make me sick if I eat too much. I remember for a while I tried keto, and the big thing is add fats. And I made a nice healthy salad, and I put a quarter, I guess, maybe it was close to half of an avocado in it. 20 minutes after I ate it, it came back up. My body rejects fat. Well, you know what? You're talking about sci-fi. I was just thinking about something. William Shatner in space. I'm gonna scrub this video because I want to see something. What, they go from launch to splashdown? What about in between?
Same technology in some way, the same.
What the heck? Oh my! You got to see this, guys. I never noticed this before. Wow! Check this out. You're not going to believe this. The other side will have an explanation for it, but there is none because they're in space, supposedly. There we go. William Shatner goes to space, Blue Origin. And I guess I'll mute the well, you know, it doesn't matter if you get, well, I'll mute it. Let me get there first, and then come back. Watch when they do this split screen, the stuff on the left, and it says they're in space. Blue Origin reaches space. Watch the stuff that's flying by like they're like there's bugs, like there's bugs flying by a streetlight. Watch. Got to mute. Hold on. I may have to scrub a little to get there too.
It's exactly the same technology in some way, the same idea that SpaceX uses, Elon Musk uses to make SpaceX become a viable, alternative to essentially losing
Thank you again,
your
everybody, for
booster
joining
rockets
us
as soon as you
live
use
from
them
West
up.
Texas. So
Oh, I get it. They're supposed to be back in the atmosphere, so they shouldn't have said reaches space, but they had to have an extra booster because William Shatner was aboard. But there's something I wanted to notice about him there. This is showing everything but him out in space. Scrubbing through. There's not one picture of them in space here. Oh.
Comes right back.
We got cartoons. Oh my. Let me see if I can find one more. It's not what I wanted. William Shatner goes into. Oh, this is what I want. This is what I want. It's only 34 seconds long. New York Times. I bet you I can't watch it. They're going to say, "Yeah, take off the ad block or something." It's not even loading. Oh yeah, beautiful. What a freaking lie. You're going to see the lie right here. Oh, come on. New York Times. Let me show you this, guys. It's hilarious. If I can find it. William Shatner and crew float in space. That's the name of this thing. And look, it's still trying to load. Let me see if I can refresh it. It's a shame if this doesn't play because you're going to see a lie. Look at this. It's blue. The sky is blue. They're in space floating and the sky is freaking blue, right? We get balloons at 80,000 feet. Almost the sky is black except for this blue layer just as you look back down to the earth. See, look, everybody else is floating. William Shatner never got the memo, so he's just standing there. Wow, this looks just like I'm looking at it 40,000 feet from a aircraft. Wow. But it's blue. I was like, you know what? I think it was blue. Yeah, he's floating in space, all right. He wasn't the actor he used to be. Otherwise, he would have been on cue. Video is on. What do you got going here? Vintage. I'm gonna have to go because I'm pushing myself now. I can tell. Well, there's nothing before, so I guess this is it. Videos on mrthriveandsurvive on YouTube. It is hilarious, and they are shocked that a bird or something like a bird is in space. That's right, Stanley. Cartoons. And if you ever want cartoons, if you don't have cable, your cable's shut off, can't find a good cartoon, you can always go to BP Earthwatch and click on the sun images, and you'll get You'll get your fill of cartoons. Oh, Gil Prasad, he did another video the other day. Oh my goodness. He's worse than Nostradamus. There's no way it won't be beyond 2016 to 2018. It's got to be in there. Well, it's 2022 and you're still talking about it's still coming. Thank you, ZG. Thank you. I will. William Shatner did say there was no difference between sci-fi and that's right, science and sci-fi. He absolutely did. And he used to call them out. They'd say, we know that 60 million miles or billion miles from now, from us, there's this, that. And he was like, no, you don't know that. You're just guessing. He would press them on it, and they'd finally like, yeah, well, we think we know. Yeah. But, it would take somebody like that to do it. They would shoo you right out of the audience. All right, guys. So the idea is to be back Monday. I think I'll be back Monday. Nothing I can think of on my schedule would interfere at the moment. So you guys have a great weekend. If you're in the Northeast, Boston area in particular, look out for that blizzard. And remember, I called it a week in advance, and they didn't. Remember, we looked up what they said the weather was going to be. But I'm real good at East Coast stuff, usually, because that's what I looked at my whole life. Yeah, good night, guys. Great talk tonight. I appreciate it. You all have a good one, and we'll be back on Monday, and we'll still be on this channel. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.